Good morning, everyone. We have another show lined up for you that is going to rock your socks. Just kidding. I don't know what the word is. Blow your socks off? I don't know. It's going to be a great show. It's good. It's going to be a great show. Okay, so we're talking specifically for menopausal women and the importance of protein. Now, I know you could be experiencing this. It could be pre. There's a lot of different levels of where you could be at. Truthfully, even if you're not going through menopause, this would be a good topic for you to learn more about protein in particular because I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes around protein in particular. So let me just make sure we're in the right group. Did I click on the right group? Yes. Okay. We are in the right group. And looks like we got a few people in here already. And I know there's a bunch of people that wanted to be tagged. We'll do that after. For now, we'll just throw this up too. We got Karen, Michael, and a bunch of other people. Looks like. Well, great. Sounds like it's a popular topic. I'm gonna put this over here, and you guys can still hear me. Great. Okay. So understanding protein is important, but so here's the thing: is that protein, I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to protein. Like I grew up as an athlete and they're like protein, protein, protein. Didn't matter what the quality, the type. It was just like get your protein count in. There's a lot of different ways I could go with this show, but I want to be here to offer insight first of all to answer your questions. So I'd love for these to be interactive. Make sure you're asking questions if you have any. Um, and if you know anyone that might benefit from this show, tag them so they can learn as well. We may as well share the wealth and let people know good information instead of keeping it all to ourselves. We had a couple. Good morning. We got Shelly's in here. Allison says, "Hola, hola." Right back at you. Okay, so here we go. Let's get into it. We are a carb heavy society for whatever reason. I don't know the history or where that came from or why we are so addicted to carbs. I would guess because carbs turn into a sugar so quickly in your body, and they're so readily available, right? Like everywhere you go, there's carbs. So if we were to look at, like, just look at breakfast. Breakfast is such an easy one because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't eat breakfast. I don't need breakfast. Like, okay, first of all, we'll squash that myth right off the bat. You do need breakfast. We're not keto people. We're not fasting people. There are benefits to those, but to live a sustainable, healthy lifestyle for the average person, keto's not going to work. Fasting's not going to. You could fast once a month. You could fast every 6 months. But fasting on a regular basis is not going to work for you. I can tell you, I have talked to countless people that are like, oh, I'm just trying fasting again. I'm just going back to keto. Keto is a form of fasting, of course. So for us to understand, like, having a balance of macros and not so heavily based on carbohydrates is where we've seen the most results with our clients. Now, I'm going to share with you 12 years of experience of full time of how we work with our clients and what we've seen the most results with. So everyone, like every expert, is going to tell you something a little bit different. I'll use the word expert term loosely, but it's particularly important for menopausal women to understand the importance of protein because those ones that we found those women going through menopause in particular struggle with extra weight gain later on in life because whatever's been working, which often has been nothing, just their regular lifestyle, doesn't work anymore. And now they have to change things up and understand at a deeper level what's going on with their body and how to make changes or how to possibly counteract the changes that are happening, right? But again, those of you that may not be going through that phase, or I know there's a couple of you that won't ever be going through that phase, this is still good information to understand protein and our carb heavy society. So we got a couple of people in here. We got Rebecca's in here, Carrie's in here, Patricia's in here. Thank you guys for joining live. And we appreciate you guys joining when you jump in here for the replay as well. But okay, so when it comes to breakfast is an easy one, because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't eat breakfast, right? And then when they do eat breakfast, they're eating the things that isn't going to help them. It's not going to boost your metabolism. It's not going to help you burn body fat. It's not going to give you the nutrients your body needs. Like a muffin, for example. Like a muffin from a hotel has 300 to 500 calories, right? If you're on 1,500 calories, what do you think you're gonna eat 2 more times a day and not increase your consume those calories that are gonna help your body accumulate body fat? So it's just a simple one to start with. If you look at breakfast, so you can look at pancakes. These are all carb heavy, right? Pancakes, French toast, granola. I had a whole bunch lined up for you when I did my promo video. Help me out in the comments. Let me know in the comments. You know what I'm talking about. Good morning, Cindy. You know what I'm talking about, right? So we have oatmeal, we have muffins, we have pancakes, we have granola, we have French toast. What else is there? Regardless, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Is we have a lot of carb heavy meals, and then we could go down the list. You could look at lunch. Like, what is lunch? It could be a bowl of pasta. It could be a sandwich with bread on the outside. In the evenings, same deal, right? You have your mashed potatoes, maybe sweet potatoes. You have your so I want to respect your time and keep this show limited, because I feel like we could talk about this for a long time. But so let me stop there. We got Rhonda jumped in here. Allison says cereals. Yes, exactly. Cereals are carb heavy, or sugar, mostly sugar in the carb category. I'm thinking about Fruit Loops. Good morning, Annette. So, okay. So we know that our meals are carb heavy. So that means if you look at the 4 macros, and let's say you put them into a pie chart, you should have a balance of those macros, right? But in most cases, we have like 50% of the day carbs, or 45% of the day carbs. Then we have like a little bit of vegetables, if any at all, or / antioxidants, right? And then like we have one meal in the evening is like steak and potatoes, right? So it's just not enough protein. And the reason why this is important specifically for menopausal women is because I often use we because we work with a team, but in this case, I can't speak for myself. So I'll say you will struggle to build muscle. And the thing here is, I'm not talking about bodybuilding muscle. It is very hard to build bodybuilding type of muscles. Like, we hear from women that are like, oh, I want to start working out, but I don't want to look like a man. And I'm like, that will never happen unless that's your specific goal. If you want to look like big, bulky man-like muscles, that's a very different path. That's endless hours in the gym, overloading on probably not the best supplements, probably not the best or the cleanest proteins. It's just a very different path. It's almost impossible. I don't like that word. It's almost impossible for you to grow your muscles like a man unless that's what you're particularly trying to do. So when I'm talking about building lean muscle, I'm talking about lean muscle. Like we like to spend a lot of time by the beach area. You can see all types of different people because of the people are wearing less clothing, right? So when I'm talking about lean muscle, I'm talking about, you can see like your triceps. You can see like different variations in your we have 3 different muscles in our shoulders, right? You can tell like cellulite is obviously there, right? And I'm trying to be as politically correct as possible. But here's the thing is that you can tell, and it doesn't matter, someone could be skinny. You can tell if they work out or not. You can tell if they have long, lean muscles. You can tell if they eat well. Like, a skinny person isn't necessarily that much healthier than an overweight person. If they're not eating right, they may just naturally have a fast metabolism. But they don't. You can tell they don't have those lean muscles. You can tell. Like, I can tell if someone never squatted in their life or never been on a fitness program by when they walk down the beach, right? And I'd imagine many of you could too as well. So the point here is what I'm trying to get at is if you want to build lean muscle, we need protein, like amino acids are building blocks of protein. We need the right amount of amino acids to build that long lean muscle. So that's why it doesn't work. Like someone will come to us and they're like, oh, I'm good with nutrition. Everyone's good with nutrition, right? Until I look at their meal plan and they're like, oh, maybe I'm not good with nutrition. So that's why it doesn't work when someone's like, oh, I just want fitness, I'm good with nutrition, right? It's like, okay, well, your nutrition, you need the proper amount of macros to build the muscle you want, to see the body that you want to see, by having the proper workouts that match up with the proper meal plans. So if you're not having the proper balance of macros, your workouts are not going to give you the most benefit. And of course, it flips around otherwise, right? People are like, oh, I'm good with workouts, I just need nutrition help. And I'm like, you probably don't, because they go hand in hand. So sometimes people come to us and they're like, oh, I'm going to piece together this from you, that from that person. You have this zigzagged, mismatched puzzle of you lacking results because that philosophy or that picture isn't coming from one area. And often those contradict one another. So it's important to understand that it's almost scientific, right? It is scientific. It's a step-by-step process of the type of calories that you need, and not heavy. Those calories need to not be heavily based on carbohydrates, which is why we bring up protein, because I'm not like a huge protein person because of my past experience of like protein. I didn't feel well on tons of protein. I didn't feel well on low quality types of protein. So I started to get away from, I'm talking about more meat types of protein. So I started to get away from protein more and more. And I found similar results from being more plant-based, like more plants, more beans, more natural sources of protein, or sorry, not natural sources of protein, other sources of protein besides meat in particular. But that being said, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just telling you that I'm not going to tell you which path to consume. I'm just going to tell you where we found the most success in different. I'm going to give you some different options of protein as well. So that would be a good place to start. So you should have. Now this is just this is difficult to give a group of advice because everyone is very specific. Like when we make meal plans for our clients, they're specific for individuals, for their weight, for their preferences. So our job is to not just so we have to make a well-balanced meal plan of calories specific to the individual and their weight. We have to make meals that taste good. Otherwise, people aren't going to eat them. Our clients aren't going to eat them. And then we have to balance the macros. So the 4 macros, I think everyone, if you don't know, ask me. We've talked about this numerous times, but I just want to focus on protein right now. Rebecca says, haven't seen my lean muscles for 20 years. Right, Rebecca? So I know you're kind of messing around, and I enjoy your sense of humor on social media. But so we had Deanne. I don't know if Deanne's in here, but Deanne was working with us and is working with us in the MAP program. And she said she hadn't seen her abs since her kids, which was 10 years ago. So I wish I could just throw up her picture because she's a really good example of building lean muscle from, you could see her progress pictures from even her back, you can see the back of her arms and her abs. But a lot of our clients are going through that. Like, we've been doing this long enough now. This is a newer MAP program that many of our clients are getting closer to that maintenance stage, which is different. Once you're in a fat loss stage first, then you move into the maintenance stage where your calories change, your workouts change, and then there's other things that we need to work on. I think at that level, it's more important to work on the psychology and the deeper levels of why our habits need to change, how our personalities, our lifestyle needs to catch up with our new body. Like, there's a lot to it. That's why it's really challenging when someone's like, oh, I only want to sign up for I only want to join for 90 days, or even 6 months is relatively short. I think a year, which is shocking to a lot of people, is probably a good starting point for you to start working with someone and finally see the results that you're looking for, which is where we've seen the most success. At the 6-month mark, that's really the sweet spot to be like, okay, now we can dig in and start getting into the sustainable results that everyone is looking for. Deanne's in here. She says, I found my abs. Thanks, guys. You're welcome, Deanna. You look absolutely amazing. Okay, so so we got to go back to protein. When it comes to the protein in particular, so let's go through some examples. So you could look at cottage cheese. So cottage cheese, and some of these are going to be dairy. This is going to be challenging, like I talked about before. It's difficult to offer single advice for a group of people because some people will be like, oh, I'm dairy intolerant, or some people are like, oh, I don't like what else do I have here? They're like, oh, I don't like bacon. I'm not going to have bacon. And those of you that are listening on our radio show, Exploring Mind and Body in podcast, I'm going to bring out some examples for you guys on camera here. So, but going back to carb heavy, so you have a bowl of cereal, right? So instead of a bowl of cereal, maybe you have a bowl of cottage cheese, right? So you have a bowl of cottage cheese, and then you could put in some mixed berries in there. You could sprinkle on some hemp seeds. You could turn that bowl into a jam-packed protein meal with other macros in there, like your healthy fats and your antioxidants. Antioxidants from blueberries. You have your healthy fats from hemp seeds. And you don't need to worry about carbs in this particular instance. I'm not saying that you should start eliminating carbs from your life. Well, allow me to contradict myself. You should start eliminating carbs that are not clean, like I talked about, like those muffins or Denny's. Is it Denny's? Denny's pancakes. Like that stuff isn't going to help you out. So if you start to replace like a bowl of cereal with a bowl of cottage cheese, that would be a great alternative for you to be able to start to build leaner muscle. So again, your nutrition should match up with your workouts. So your workouts are building longer, leaner muscles, but you need the support of your nutrition, balance of macros and proteins in particular, so you can start to see the results you're looking for. We see people at the gym, I say this all the time, but I used to see people at the gym doing cardio for hours, and I'm like, and they never saw results. And I would see them 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, if they lasted that long, later, sweating buckets on the elliptical or on the treadmill. And they didn't look any different, to be honest with you. I haven't been in the gym for years, so I can't, so that's no one here. So at any rate, you need to resistance training to build those lean muscles, not just cardio. I would say cardio actually probably, for a different topic, but destroys some of your resistance training results. But this is a great example of cottage cheese. I'm not going to get into the ingredients of everything right now because I don't have time. But we have another one. Where's yogurt? Look at this yogurt, like this Greek yogurt, 20 grams of protein. Now I know people are watching from all over and they're like, oh, I can't find that brand. Where do I find that brand? Where did you get that? I mean, it doesn't really matter in that regard. My point is that these are better options that you need to start to look for. This one has 140 calories. That is a nice trade-off. And this is something that we work on specifically. We have to decide if the calorie trade-off is enough for the protein trade-off. So usually, well, always when you increase the protein, the calories increase. So we found one of these for our 15 grams of protein. That was 240 calories. So obviously, lower calorie count, higher protein count is a better option. To be honest with you, we snack on these every night. 20, like this is like our ice cream. And I've been doing that for months, for probably 6 months or more. Every night we sit down and we have yogurt in a bowl, and we just enjoy that. 20 grams of protein. It's easy on digestion unless you're lactose intolerant, but I think you can find yogurts that don't have lactose. I read that somewhere. At any rate, yogurt is a great option for you. And then again, if you want, you can have that as a breakfast. You can have that as a snack in the evening or throughout the day. So that's something that you can add hemp seeds to. You can add berries to if you want. This is a Greek yogurt. That's what we suggest. I'm not talking about going to get... So the conventional types of yogurt will have low, like maybe 9 grams. Is that a lot? 4 to 9 grams, I think, per cup, which isn't much at all of protein. So you would want to find a better quality Greek yogurt. Let me know how we're doing. Is this hitting home for anyone? Is this helpful? I didn't know exactly the direction I was going to go once I sat down here. I just knew there's a lot of people that need to hear or wanted to hear about this in particular. Okay, so if I could speak, and again, I wanted this to be specific for those going through menopause. and helping you understand, like, so why is this important? Because when I talk to most women, like we work with women exclusively, most are in or close to that menopausal state. That's why I'm sharing this with you. And that's why I feel like I have the experience to share it with you. So most of the women that we hear from, at least before we start working with them, is little to no. So busy, like moms, right? Busy moms, um, nurturers, caregivers, taking care of everyone else but themselves, or they put themselves last. So rushing, making your lunch for your spouse or breakfast for your spouse. No judgment. Okay, a little bit. And then making lunches for the kids, getting the kids ready for school, getting them on the bus, or driving them to school, or whatever it is that you're doing. Is you put yourself last. You don't sit down and eat with them, or often don't eat before. We've seen a lot of results with our clients that do that kind of stuff before they wake up. They're up early, getting their workout in, already have their meal prep done, or having breakfast before the kids, spouse even get up. So that's a nice tip for you that want to make some changes. Even if you're not an early morning person, even if though you don't want to get up, that's fine. If you want to see different results, you have to take different action. Favorite quote: if you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. We talk to people all the time, especially like the women that we work with. Some of them could be retired, or some of them could be in a different phase of their life and they don't need to get up at 6 o'clock anymore to get ready for work, or whatever that vision looks like. It's different for everyone. But for years, or for a few years, things have changed, right? Maybe you're not running around doing the same job that you used to do, for example, and maybe your lifestyle looks much different. Maybe you're living a more sedentary lifestyle and you don't even know it. Because you could still say, "Oh, I'm just as busy as I always was," but maybe you're not getting up like you used to and moving around. So your metabolism has slowed down. So your metabolism may slow down as you get into that menopausal state. So you're gaining body weight. And on top of that, your lifestyle changes a bit. So maybe there's a little bit more Netflix. Maybe there's a little bit more scrolling instead. And don't get me wrong, you may not be chasing your kids, but you could be chasing the grandkids. Again, whatever that looks like for you, your life is in a different season. It's in a different phase. You're taking different action. You probably have a different mindset from the 10 years before that you didn't even know about, right? So it's important to understand that the actions that you're taking or are not taking are creating the outcome of your life. I got a couple of comments here I'm going to read. And that says, Liberty has lactose-free yogurt. Spelling could be wrong, but sure of the grams of protein. Angela says, yes, morning exercises are better than the end of the day. Definitely start the day off better. Yeah, Angela's in our MAT program. She started working out earlier in the morning. We have a 5 a.m. club in our MAT program. We got a number of people that have had that mindset of like, no, not working out in the morning, not for me. And they're able to change their mindset a little bit, try some morning workouts, and now love it. But it really, like, morning workouts are the best to jumpstart your metabolism, to give you energy, to make you feel accomplished, better about yourself, confidence. There's unlimited benefits to working out in the morning, but you can't talk someone into working out in the morning if they're not ready for it. They'll think of 1,002 excuses of why it won't work out in their life, which is fine. We don't try to change people. We try to offer information and maybe even inspiration to make those changes to see the results they're looking for. A good quality protein supplement is a big one. It's a no-brainer for us. We're traveling right now. we brought one without a label. This is our protein. We have really nice vanilla protein, 25 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, 2 grams of carbs. Look at that ratio. So when we're designing meal plans for our clients, we have to figure out the ratios of, okay, if this is 20 grams of protein, how many calories are they consuming? Because we need them in a specific calorie count. With 25 grams of protein and 2 grams of carbs, it makes it very easy to throw this into meal plans and not have to worry about other aspects of balancing. So if you want to grab a good quality protein, you probably should be low calories, high protein count, like 100. I think this is 120 calories. So you want to be around 100 calories. And this is a great way. This is my little shake. This is what I take. I have eggnog in here, almond milk, and our protein, and that's it. And I love it. Deanne, do you want to share with us, if you're still here, do you want to share with us in the comments what you thought about shakes before you started with us? Deanne's like, don't put any shakes in my meal plan. Not having it. Allison says, my office is my car now, and I'm not running like I was. Weight shifts around differently now that I'm 50. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. And that's like those are the comments we hear on a regular basis, every week, if not every day, of the different lifestyle that you have now later on as you go through menopause. So there's a lot of things changing. It's not just menopause. It's the actions and the less activity or the different activity that is changing in your life that's causing you more changes. So you hear people like, oh, I've never had to, I hear this from people, never had to worry about nutrition before, never really worked out before, or, and now I just look at a donut and I gain 5 pounds, right? So your life probably has changed a bit and you haven't noticed it, but other aspects have changing as well. It's menopause is just not the only aspect, right? We had Carrie jump in here and she says, my motivation and energy level is much better in the morning. Love taking the time in the morning before life gets crazy to exercise. That's fantastic. And Carrie's in our MAP program as well. A bit newer, but that's so great to hear that you're starting to exercise in the morning, starting to feel like I don't think you could exercise and not feel better. Is that ever happened? Is there any negative side effects to working out, period? And then to work out in the morning? I don't think so. Just think about that for a second. If you were to eliminate variables from your life or add particular things, and then there may be some negative side effects. Like if you add too much protein, or low quality protein for sure, with a bunch of toxins in it, you could deal with some digestion issues. So increasing protein, there's some negative there. But possibly maybe injury, but if you're working out with a coach or someone that can help you design a proper meal plan, not meal plan, but exercise program, we do full body exercises first. No equipment, no props, no weights, full body weight exercises first to build a strong foundation, because I dealt with injuries early on in my athletic career, and I don't want people to start exercising and have to start dealing with injuries early on. So we start off with full body weight first, build up, and then you can look at props, etc. So at any rate, almost zero side effects or negatives of starting to work out, and working out in the morning. And still people are like, nah, not going to do it. To each their own. Okay, I got a couple other ones here. This protein bar, this one here is from, we found this one at Costco, which is the Kirkland brand. The ingredients are actually pretty good, especially being not a huge Costco advertiser. We shop there when we need to or feel necessary. These ingredients are pretty good. If you're looking at a protein bar, it's really hard to find a protein bar, even especially granola bars that aren't jam-packed with sugar and a bunch of other nonsense. So this is 20 to 25 grams of protein. This is a bit higher calorie count, 190, but we work that into our clients' meal plans and calorie count. So you could do that yourself if you have any experience with that. So no sucralose, no aspartame, none of that nonsense. And this one has 21 grams of protein. So this is just a snack. A lot of times people are going to have a snack that they probably shouldn't be having, right? Like that donut when you have a coffee driving through that coffee shop that I don't like to promote. I like to promote small local. But to increase your metabolism, to build long, lean muscle, you need to consume more calories, more nutrients throughout the day. 21 grams of protein to have a snack or to have a protein bar without all the other junk and nonsense, that's a great option. So I'd highly suggest adding that to your regular diet. I don't know if I finished this conversation. Sometimes I go off on tangents, but when I was talking about women in particular as nurturers, you don't take care of yourself, right? Everyone goes, you put everyone else first, so then you're not having the breakfast. Maybe lunch, late breakfast or a late snack, Then you maybe have a lunch or a late lunch, 2, 3, and then it's supper time and you're starving, you're calorie deprived. You certainly don't have the macro count or the protein count that you need. So then you're starving in the evening, right? So then what happens? You go to the pantry and you go and grab the things that you shouldn't be consuming anyways, right? Right. So that's what we found is that, and that's why I'm saying you got to start having breakfast and start pushing your calories earlier in the day. And I know it's challenging because everyone else comes first, and that's all that's been in your mind for how many years? Maybe your whole life. So you have to start finding ways to slowly put yourself first. Maybe I'm going to do some morning stretches, which could take 5 minutes. Maybe I'm going to jump on the treadmill or start doing some exercise in the morning. Maybe I'm going to have a granola bar or a yogurt bowl before anyone else gets up so I can get some nutrients in me. Morning, Karina. You can rewatch for sure. Okay, I got a few other ones here. Oh, I'm going to wrap things up here soon. This is a Beyond Meat burger. And I don't care. Like, I don't care what you have to say about plant meat. That's not what this show is about. Like I talked about, we consume more plant types of products. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't eat beef or eat meat. This is just a different option. There's such a craze going on right now with you should, like, and I get it. It's polarizing. You should eat plants. Don't eat so much meat. It's bad for the environment. Blah blah blah. I don't care. I don't care about any of that. I'm just telling you that this is a different option. Where's the protein count? Protein count 20 grams per burger. You'd probably find in beef, you'd probably find higher protein count in a beef burger. So if you want to have beef, have beef. This is just another option for you. So you have your burger, you have your chicken breast. Eggs is an easy one in the morning to increase your higher protein count. Here's the thing is that when we start to work with people, they may be resistant to different things, right? Like they may be resistant to eggs. I'm not going to eat eggs. I'm like, okay, we still need to get you to a decent calorie count in the morning. So if you're not going to eat eggs, then you're going to have to look at another higher protein, like a meat protein in most cases, right? So are you going to have a chicken breast for breakfast? Are you going to have a piece of fish? Maybe you'll have a sausage. Maybe you have some bacon. But you limit your own ability to succeed, right? That's our mind. Like that's our mind, our vision, our experience. The less open you are to trying new things, the more picky you are, the more you're like, I'm a texture person. I'm not picking on you. I'm just telling you whatever limitations you have created in your life. And I do believe we create all of our own limitations. That's a deep hole. Could be coming from other areas. I believe we take on other people's beliefs. Could be something from mostly from childhood, but at any rate, if you are limiting your ability to succeed, the more you say, I'm not going to do that, not going to try that, not working out in the morning, don't need more protein, not going to eat eggs, blah blah blah, whatever it is. You are limiting. Those that come into our program and have they're wide open. I'm ready to be coached. Tell me what to do. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to question. I'm not going to debate. Just tell me what to do. I'm going to do it. Those are the ones that see the most results in the shortest amount of time. That's it. And you don't have to take my word for this. You can try different things, right? Like you can try different things that may or may not work for you. But this is the experience that we found with our clients. And I think it'd be hard pressed to argue, anyone could argue that we haven't seen incredible results with our people. Like our MAP program, we've lost over 500 pounds as a group. We're averaging 6 to 8 pounds, closer to 8 pounds. Oh, in the first week, for sure, 2. We have people that are like, oh, don't think my scale works. And I'm like, it works. Because the program works. Rhonda says, I find that I'm not eating enough or maybe the right foods. Yeah, that's the thing, Rhonda. Like, you're not alone. Like, most women don't eat enough. And if they're eating enough, then they seem to be overeating or eating too much of, let's say, the carbs we're talking about. So we're like, oh, I'm eating all the time, right? And we look at what they're eating and we're like, stop, Megan, stop. So that's what we find. Either. So you could be, what the thing is, it's really hard to gain weight if you overeat on the clean stuff, right? It's like sometimes people come to us and they're like, oh, I heard you can't have carrots, too much sugar. And I'm like, have you heard of anyone gaining weight by eating too much carrots? Same thing with fruit, right? Don't eat fruit, too much sugar. I'm like, okay. Like, sure, it will spike your blood sugar levels, but that's something that needs to be controlled long term, like long term, not a bite of an apple, long term throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the months. When we have clients starting to work with us, they have their blood sugar levels lower than they ever have. So people come to us and they're like, oh, can diabetics work with you? And I'm like, I think all diabetics should be working with us. Dion says, good morning. I'll watch the beginning after 2. Awesome. I'm eating so much more now. I'm on the program. Yeah, Dion, how much weight have you lost? Dion's one of our members as well. She's seen incredible results and eating more than she ever has. And most times it's rare. So two types of people come to us. Those types of people that we put them on a meal plan and they're like, are you trying to starve me? That's a very small percentage. The vast majority, probably 80% of people, if not more, will say, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Like, are you trying to make me gain weight? Why am I eating so much food? And that's just perspective, right? That's because you're not used to eating anything. If you're used to picking at a few things throughout the day, and then we give you meals that are calorie, not calorie dense, if they're a well-rounded macros in the specific calorie range we want you in, you could have been, like in most cases, you're calorie deprived. You're not getting the nutrients your body needs to build lean muscle, i.e. amino acids, protein, and you haven't increased your metabolism enough to burn body fat, right? So that's why you need protein, especially at this stage in your life, because it's harder for you to build lean muscle. Like, I feel like lean muscle drops, and then we have like osteoporosis kind of setting in. It's like too negative. And osteoporosis is like, okay, it's scary to some people, understand, but all of our bones, and there's different levels of it, right? But all of our bones start to lose density as we age, which is osteoporosis. So it's just more apparent as you usually get to that menopausal state, like, oh my gosh, what's happening to my body? Everything I've been doing in the past isn't working, which could have been nothing, right? So now your body's like, hey, you got to start doing something. Dion's down 18 pounds. Whoop, whoop. Awesome, Dion. Congrats. We have a bunch of, it's so nice to see our clients come in here. You guys are amazing. Angela, you in here? What are you down? And then Deanne down 20. Angela, what are you down? 28. Who else is in here? Patricia's got a big number. Carrie lost a ton in the first week, and Carrie's isn't a big person. At any rate, I won't go through each one of them, but if you guys are in here and you want to drop your comments, we appreciate that. Angela's down 28 pounds. Amazing. You know what we've started to do with our clients is we give them a little awards. We started this at our awards night, and like, it's kind of a fun thing. It's not like a big giant fancy award. It's like a little tiny star. So we give them they lose 10 pounds, we give them a little star. We give they lose 20 pounds, we give them a cup, like a little trophy cup. Trudy lost 30 pounds, we got her an Oscar. It's just a fun thing we like to do. And it's not, again, it's not just about weight loss for us. So we also have incentives for those in our MAP program. So swag. So we don't sell any of our merch right now on our website. We only give them away as earned rewards. So we do 25 workouts, you get a t-shirt, 50 complete 50 workouts, you get a hat, Trueform hat. 75 workouts, you get a hoodie. I think Deanne, you're probably there, right? We have got a lot of people that we got to get them their swag, but that's celebrating action, right? That celebrating action is different than just focused on the scale, just focused on the end result. We want you to focus on your step-by-step process and your daily tasks that you need to complete. We did an amazing training on the proper way to set and achieve goals inside our MAP group. Once a week, we do a private group training for them. That was groundbreaking. That was such a cool experience go through that with our clients. And we have a 3-part series with them. So we have another one coming up this Tuesday on, I'm not sure if that's going to be finances or relationship, but they're all very closely linked. Angela says, I'm working on my Oscar. You're close. You're gonna get it. Patricia's down 16 pounds. Shelly's down 11. Oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. And that's that's work, right? That's work. And I want to be that very clear with everyone, because I don't want to take away from all the time and effort that our members have put in. I'm gonna wrap things up in about 5 minutes here, just so you guys know. Our clients put in a ton of effort. It's not easy. It's not easy. If anyone thinks like a pill, potion, powder, any of those short-term programs are going to change your life or give you sustainable results, they're lying to you. It takes time and effort. Like some of our clients, we do some like deep mental work with. Some of them have gone through a lot of challenging things in their life and has brought them to where they are now. And and then other ones, it's more surface level, which is okay too, but it's the meal prep, it's the effort, it's the showing up for workouts when you don't feel like it. Like, it's a lot of work, and a lot of times people just think it should be easy. Like, oh, first of all, I'm going to do it by myself, which is a lie. That's a lie you've told yourself for 20, 30 years, and you think you can keep doing it by yourself and see no results. We all need coaches to see the success that we're looking for in different areas. Everyone. The most successful people in the world have a coach for what they want to improve in their life. So that's number one. And number two is that it should be easy. Oh, I should be able to do this not just on my own, but I should be able to figure this out. Why can't I? Because it's hard. It's hard with all the temptations, with all the carbs, with all the drive-thrus. Like, it's not meant, our society isn't meant, it's meant to be convenient, which is unhealthy. It's not meant to be challenging, which is where you're going to see the results. If you dig deep and find the challenges in your life, that's where you're going to see the results that you're looking for. I've had a few other ones I'm just going to throw up here. This is turkey bacon. You can have your, this is another protein option. You can have your, whatever you want, your pork, what do you call it? Pork? See how big, we had family. Oh, I'm not going to get into that. This is turkey sausage. This is super clean, no nitrates, no artificial flavors, no preservatives, no hormones, no MSG, gluten-free. You can find these cleaner. So this is like a little, what is it? Turkey sauce. It's like a little pepperoni stick, right? This is actually, this one is, what is this? Beef jerky. No idea why I couldn't think of that. Beef jerky. So 3 strips of this is 10 grams of protein. So at any rate, I just want to know, here's another one I brought out for you. Here's a 20 grams of protein. It's a yogurt drink. This is just a yogurt drink, 20 grams of protein. So just understand, like, there's so many different options out there, and hopefully these options I gave you, these are things that we consume in our diet. These are things that we recommend our clients consume, and then we put in their meal plan these options to help balance out the macros, to increase their protein content and to decrease their carb content. So carb heavy needs to be balanced. So you need to reduce the carbs and take away all the nonsense that you shouldn't be consuming is mostly carb heavy. And you've seen the results. You've seen the results we're talking about from our clients that have been in here with us live. So hopefully that will give you some, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Hopefully that will give you some insight that these will help. Like, we know what we're talking about. We've been doing this for years. These will definitely make a difference in your life to start making changes, to start adding the proper proteins, and don't just look at like protein content. I don't have enough time to get into that right now, but look at ingredients. Look at the ingredients that you're putting in your body, because if you overload on low quality proteins, which I did in university as a university athlete, because they told us to, even at the professional level, like, I started to strip down everything because I wasn't healthy, and I thought I should have been. And then when I started to look at ingredients and clean things up, I started to become that athlete that I always wanted to be. So, yeah, at any rate, hopefully that helps. We do. If you guys want information, or if you want to talk about our MAP program, that's definitely an option for you. We also have a 14-day challenge starting up, probably in a week or two, probably closer to 2 weeks, 10 days. We have a 14-day fitness challenge. So we're gonna design workouts for you. We're gonna do meal plans for you. This is like a sneak peek at the inside track of our MAP program and how we've been able to see such great results with our clients. So if you want details on that, shoot me a message, and I can hook you up. We can talk about it. And that's it. That's all I have. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you want more conversation about protein in particular, or if you would like more conversation about how to see results while going through menopause. If that's particularly of interest. We know that a lot of our Lori signed up for our 14-day challenge. She says, I can't wait. We had a few other people that signed up for our challenge that popped in here. But at any rate, I think menopause is a topic we should talk about a bit more. That's our audience anyways. I'm not sure why I don't talk about it more with our public group, like with our public audience. At any rate, I should go. Thank you so much for joining live. Thank you for being here. If you're catching the replay, we appreciate that as well. If we can help out with anything, let us know. Otherwise, have a great weekend. Have a great week. Have a great evening whenever you're watching us. We'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.